Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast with your hosts, Popcorn, aka Owen, and Opinions, aka me, well, Reason. And we actually have a special guest today, which is Angelique Barnard. As you will remember her from our Devil Wears Prada 1 episode, we're actually doing Devil Wears Prada 2. So,
Yeah.
Owen, what did you think of the movie in terms of what was it about?
Before I carry on, I just want to say in our very first episode of Devil Wears Prada 1, the movie addressal, the deep dive, if you will, we addressed Angelique as Soda Bubbly. So welcome back, Soda Bubbly.
Thank you so much
All
for
right.
and opinions. Also, you used my middle name, bruh.
I know.
That was Mr. Opinions.
It's okay.
Yeah, that was me.
It's okay, opinions.
So, guys, I'd love to get you guys into a quick lay of the land of the Devil Wears Prada universe. So, actually, our fans as well. The Devil Wears Prada follows Andy Zas, a young, aspiring journalist who takes the job of being the assistant of Miranda Priestley, being the powerful, terrifying editor of the top fashion magazine. You can see it as the type of Vogue in our real life. So at first, Andy sees this fashion thing as a shallow world to get in, but slowly gets pulled into Miranda's demanding world, changing her style, attitude, priorities to survive the workplace. So as she becomes more stressful at work, her personal life and her relationship starts falling apart. In the end of this first movie, Andy realized the glamorous career path is costing herself. It's costing her too much of herself, so she walks away from Miranda and chooses a life more aligned to what she really is. Now, fast forward 20 years in this universe, we now get Devil Wears Prada 2, and this is very interesting, and which Angelique will also touch on, but we are now fighting for Runway's health. On to you, Angelique.
Yeah.
Hey, hi everyone. I'm Angelique, and I'm joking. So I found it. I like the trajectory of the story because you can see the difference between 2006 being all about Runway magazine and 2026 how social media has such a big impact, and like magazines are not magazines anymore. It's just tabloids, or you just scroll through social media and you just and they actually addressed it. And Miranda is now in the press, but in a bad light. Now she needs Andy's assistance, and she doesn't want Andy's assistance. Is it Herb? Sorry. They don't.
Yes, it was the owner of the company.
Owner of the company, in Andy. What
Yeah,
I enjoy about Andy,
Yes.
so the growth in Andy, what's interesting here. So the first movie, it's about coming of age, finding your feet in your career, which is quite relatable at our age. But like Andy in the second movie, she's like probably in her 40s or something, right? Because it's 20 years later. She goes back to something that she remembers to be a toxic workplace, but she goes back because she knows she needs to survive. And that is so true for what's real, and that's what I appreciated about the movie, is because if you're in midlife, that's like midlife career crisis, right? She got laid off, and the reality is she needs a job, and she's going to take that job, and she's going to make the best of it, and she's going to do it to survive. And that's what I enjoyed.
Yeah, I felt like the movie was very very to the time in the way, and I feel like watching Devil Wears Prada, like when we did Devil Wears Prada 1 versus now that we've watched the second one, it's really an eye-opener, like in terms of how the officers are different, as well as times have changed. And like I feel like the whole movie is pushing times have changed. So yeah, and like even with how they've moved away from traditional print media to being online and having apps, and also you have content creation and all of those aspects. Like I feel back, they even address when I think Andy was asking the assistant about, oh, you're still waiting for the book, right? Because she's basically saying Miranda's stuck in the old school times of using print rather than looking at things up online or looking at those kind of things.
And we also saw this when she was speaking to Nigel in the cafeteria. So when he said, oh, we don't do magazines anymore, honey. We've stopped that years ago. So it's cool to see that they have been keeping up with the times, and that this movie, this universe, I'd like to say, call it a universe, is keeping up with the times, keeping up with social media, and all those related topics. Love that for film.
The development of the
Yeah, it was. I was gonna say it. Yeah, it's really portrayed in the contemporary time, which is great to see. Also, speaking of contemporary times, and let's talk about the characters in terms of each of them, how they evolved, and how they don't look a day over when the movie was.
So
it's insane.
Yeah, I think Anne Hathaway as Andrea Zax. So I actually saw Andrea's full name on one of her certificates. So I was like, oh, it's Andrea, it's not Andy. So puts that into perspective as well, I have to say. But yeah, she's looking good. She's portraying the role once again, very good. I have to say that to me, I've got a few, how can I say, interesting ideas, opinions. Good one. Opinions regarding the characters and how they compare to the first movie. So, in the light of this second movie, Andy went to Miranda Priestley's office with this whole change. So we remember the first movie, which was about 10 years ago. I'm not quite sure. When was the first movie?
2000.
Once again?
I think it was in 2002, 2006. So that's 20 years ago.
So it was 20 years ago. So,
which is crazy to think.
Yeah, it's just crazy to think. So just by the start, we have a vague idea of like what the movie was about. There's not a lot of people that do what we do today. So we review movies. That's our we call it not the 9 to 5, it's our 5 to 9. We review movies in our off time. So we've got a good idea of what happened in the past movie, but I'm afraid there's a few people that don't know they don't remember what happened in the first movie. But to get to the point of Anne Hathaway or Andy Zax, so she had this expectation that Miranda's gonna remember her, see her, and it's going to be
welcome her with open arms and stuff.
Welcome home, Andy. We were waiting you, and it wasn't. So that was very. So nothing wrong with Andy, but that's the first look we almost have into this movie, and to me it was a bit interesting. So we'll address that later with Miranda Priestley, but Andy had this wonderful youth going into this role, but now she's almost back to being straight runaway, and we're letting go of that beauty of Andy, of how she chose in the first movie to become her own person. And now she's back to being the smart fat girl. So I don't know what you guys think about that, but that was my that first kickback.
Angelique answer first, and then I'm gonna answer second on that one. All
I feel
right.
like Andy has this constant need for approval from specifically Miranda. Like, she craves Miranda's approval. Like, she does one thing right, and she's like, why didn't she mention this? Why am I not allowed to speak about this? I'm like, girl, know the corporate world. It's not about that. Think about the bigger picture. You are dealing with Miranda Priestley. At this point, after 20 years, you're supposed to know this. You're in your 40s. You're supposed to be mature enough not to get a pat on the back. So I was with Nigel on that one. You don't necessarily always need to have a good for you, well done. And the reality is you're not always going to receive that. So she might have this constant need for approval, but I see that specifically with Miranda. She constantly wants to be in her good books. And that's kind of weird to me. Like, why? I just want to know why. Like, you were able to walk away from that in the first movie. Okay, I respected you when you came back for survival. I respected you there. But then again, like you say, Popcorn, you're like, it's like you're a constant people pleaser. You're a people pleaser, and I would like you to break that. But yeah, that's my opinion.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Mr. Opinions?
I feel... Okay, cool. I feel that Andy in the first movie, at the end of it, really showed off like her power and stuff like that by walking away.
Mm.
I feel in this movie, it started off with Andy having like power play in terms of like speaking up about the journalists, and then it felt like when she saw Miranda in her office, it's like, and when Miranda didn't recognize her, I feel
She
like
went back.
it took a step
Yeah.
back. Yes, she went backwards. See, it's like the power dynamic just shifted. But then, hang on, I want to say this, right? But the complete opposite happened with Emily. I'm not gonna lie to you. Emily's character in this thing was so good. You can see she does not fear Miranda anymore. Before, she used to walk on eggshells around Miranda. Now that Emily has the power dynamic in terms of working with the sponsors, it's now being like, I can talk to Miranda on her same level. But I feel like with Andy, she's taken a step back from that in terms of she's coming in to help, but now she's getting stuck in, Miranda's still above me. We're not equals in that sense. Like she takes Miranda's nonsense and is okay, but then with Emily, it's not like that anymore.
I feel like
Yeah.
Which I thought was quite cool.
I agree completely with you. I feel like I want to tell Andy in the movie, you're allowed to say no, like you treat me that way, because I feel like Andy's been told her whole life you're supposed to say you're supposed to be a yes man, and she just ran with it. It's like, girl, stand up for yourself. But seriously. Anyway, I feel like
Nigel
he
was
did it
awesome.
at one point in fighting Miranda, though, and I love the ending for him. I love the fact that he got a good ending. Yeah, he deserved it.
But
I'm not gonna lie to you, I have a contentious opinion about this. I feel like Nigel stayed the same for majority of the movie, right? From the first to the second part of the movie. He stayed exactly the same as he was in the first movie. I felt that way. Like, I didn't see that much. And then only, like, he still has these same old things, but then only when it got to near the end, then he was like, I finally have my moment, sort of thing.
power dynamic, yeah.
That's just my opinion on it. And that's why I said, like, I don't think in his character he grew that much, only until like the very end, sort of
I
thing.
think
It's like,
that
he didn't fight for that. Someone else fought for his moment. He was too scared to fight for his own moment. What? Anyway, sorry, Popcorn. Carry on.
Yeah. No, please. So this is what we live for. We live for this spontaneous bursts of ideas. We love that. It's like popcorn. Dare I say, it's like popcorn. So, and in terms of Nigel, as Reeson mentioned, he was the endeared constant, or the consistent person in this movie. I enjoyed that he didn't change a lot from the first movie, and that's what makes me like him that much, except that he had a power play at the end of this movie, which basically he WhatsApped Irv's son saying, listen, things are happening at Runway, we gotta make some moves, and they brought back Andy. So, well, he brought back Andy, technically. So that was amazing. That's the type of thing that makes Nigel, and that is the type of thing that just fueled this movie for what it needs. So in terms of all the characters, I believe Nigel was actually my favorite and portrayed the best, especially in terms what Angelique also said earlier of him being this professional guy saying, listen, you said you wanted this job, so you can't now have these opinions. So it's time to get back to work. You needed this job, take it. So that I love, and which was, I think, even despite that there was a few dynamics that dropped by Miranda, I enjoyed that Nigel kind of kept us sane in this all of this. So he kept us sane. He just continued. If Nigel wasn't there, I don't think there was a golden thread.
Yeah,
Okay,
Throwing
I
out
have
my
something
opinion,
to
bro.
say. I have something to say. Right. Speaking of Miranda, let's chat about the elephant in the room, Miranda Priestley.
Listen.
You mean
What
the
did you
elephant in the
think of-
room or your bad lighting? Oh, I'm kidding.
Wow,
Guys,
thanks,
we don't
man.
know what happened. We don't know what happened with his light, we're fixing it on the edit. Boom. Insert cool
Now
edit here.
Also, let's add a spotlight onto Miranda Priestley because clearly they took it off me. So let's go with that.
The fact that she's not the main antagonist in this movie. I actually like that. Because that would have been predictable. The actual antagonist is corporations. Think about it. The big layoffs, it's out of our hands, right? So it's actually, you see her and Andy working together at the very end. So she's not the main antagonist, which is interesting. I like that.
Okay.
And she's willing to say relevant.
Something to say about Miranda's character.
Yeah.
Now, if you've been following the podcast for a long time, you know me. I'm a sucker for a good villain. She was the perfect villain that I couldn't even support. Like, she was so... She did her part so well to make the audience hate her. And she played it to perfection. I could not stand her. Like, everything I could not stand. Meryl Streep plays the perfect villain, and I give my hats off to her. Absolute phenomenal performance, but Miranda's character, I hated her. Even the first movie, I hated her more in the second.
Really?
It's
You know what?
What made you
I'm
hate her in the
actually with
second
you on that
movie?
point. Okay,
it's
sorry.
like her it's like her entitlement, firstly. Then secondly, she's not willing to change or like step down from things. And it's like the stubbornness. But then also I feel like that's a reflection of the old guard in a way. Like when they trying to basically in the movies change. Like you can't, it's like you have to be a certain thing to Miranda. But now it's like things are changing sort of thing. So I feel like that's why.
Yeah. You know, I really agree with you in terms of who Miranda was in this movie. She was really a pain. I couldn't also stand her decisions. I couldn't stand for what she was saying. I couldn't stand for the other editor-chief that she technically just fired just because of Andy just prancing in. So there was
and guilt tripping her about it.
I agree with you. It's not Andy's fault. I mean, she just needed a job. She didn't even know about the other editor that needed to be fired, So there's a lot of points with Miranda Priestley that I'd love to make and that I'd love to discuss with you guys. So there's one particular, and I think I haven't addressed this since the first episode that we made. Why is she the devil? Why is she the devil wearing Prada? Or where does that come in? Is that relating to Miranda? Firstly, that's what my first question. I'm not sure if you guys can answer that. That's just a question I have.
I think that's an Angelique question right there.
Yeah, I think that's an Angelique question.
Yeah, she's the stylish one out of the three of us.
Hold on. All I want to say about Miranda in the second one, the reason I don't find her as insane as the first one is I see a desperate old woman trying to stay relevant. So she is desperate in just trying to stay in touch with everything. She's a dinosaur in this industry, getting ripped apart by the tabloids, as she should be. But so she's scrambling, and the only way she knows how is to insult people, to step on them. But it's not. It's like you can now everyone can see through this. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, shame. Like for me, it's like I see through this. It's like this. Yeah, if that makes sense. So like I actually now pity her. It's not this villain, this antagonist that has this much power, because she doesn't have that much power anymore. Not like the first movie. It's like now
she's not a devil anymore.
It's like this, you can see when a narcissist is trying to scramble. That's what I'm seeing in the second one. It's like, oh, shame, man. Oh, that's what I'm seeing in the second one. So like I'm not seeing her as this massive antagonist. Actually, I'm seeing her as this desperate old woman trying to be relevant.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie to you. The best scene out of the movie was when Miranda has to start Pardon?
The airplane scene.
Yes, I loved it.
That was good.
The shock and awe on her what killed me. When they said they can't have to take Ubers, and then when they have to be in the cafeteria, that was Crazy.
Yeah.
We have a cafeteria.
And she was this very important person just sitting there in the cafeteria, just chilling, and this
Everyone
other
else is like,
this,
what?
Yeah, this Gen Z guy just saying, "Yo, we call you Miranda Beast."
Yeah.
Oh,
Because you're a...
like, what are you saying?
And like,
I was like, this is the head of runway.
No, dude, come on.
No, that was funny. It's like humbling her to an extreme. This young guy that's now your boss. That's funny. And now you need to dance to his, like, whims, you know? Because that's your boss.
Mm.
It was funny to
Yeah,
me.
and like you can tell.
And in the past, having had very old people being my boss, we don't have to go into it. So that was funny. That was funny.
Mhm.
What was your question?
To lie to you, like, since we're chatting about Miranda, let's talk about the workplace environment from
Yeah.
back in 2006 to now in 2026. Like how that has evolved in the movie.
I know what point
Yeah,
you're trying to make is her trying to hang up her own coat because HR told her, "Hey, stop teasing or harassing your employees
Stop-
to do your own
Yes.
things."
Yes,
Lovely.
100%. Like, I absolutely loved that. And I love the new workplace dynamic. Before it was like, you had to be this size, have to do this and this and this to be in runway. And now you can see there's more inclusivity in terms of that. And yeah, I don't know, Angelique, do you want to add some more? I know you want to add some more.
I do. Thanks for asking.
Pop off.
So yes, it's yeah. So I. Sorry, but.
She's so excited she can't speak.
But I feel like that's like minimum. That's bare minimum. Think about the whole story as a whole. Like, yo, hang your own freaking coat. Duh. Like that's not even the bare minimum. But think of the grand scheme of things. Someone still lost their job when Andy had to come in. She didn't get noticed. She just got a job and she got sacked. That is not good employment. Like just think about it. Things didn't actually change. In 20 years' time, with well-being changed, really, if Miranda walks in, people are still a bit. There's like the two assistants are still a bit. He's still tied to his desk. There's still like hardcore rules. She's still to people in the boardrooms. The way she speaks to people in the boardroom to Andy is like, don't even open your mouth. Like, think about how she speaks to people. If someone speaks to me that way, you best bet I'll be in an HR office and you will hear from me. Like, absolutely not. That's not gonna fly. It's like they want you to believe that things have improved. It's not nearly where it needs to be. And that's the reality of American corporation. If you know how American capitalism works, it's not like here with us. It's not. I've worked for an American company before. We don't have to do which one. But I've worked there. They can literally tell you, yeah, you're fired. You're not coming in tomorrow. And that's how their employment works. Like they don't have wet or basiese diensvoorwaardes, like Basic Employment Act. They don't have those things. Labor law. So like,
yes,
you can even see it in their legislation. They haven't really improved in 20 years. They're like, sorry. I'm not going to glorify America at this point in time in 2026. They still need to improve. And we can keep that in the
but that's not that type of podcast.
okay.
Cool.
Today.
Cool.
Awesome. What I felt was, in terms of the new workplace, it's like as the hanging of the coat, as well as if you look at in that boardroom meeting that they had when they were discussing for Milan, runway in Milan, like how Miranda's assistant was like, no, you can't say this, you can't say that, you can't say this, you can't say that. Like, you can see Miranda is stuck in her times, and it's not working in the modern day corporate environment. Like before, she could tell anyone what she wanted to say and people would just accept it. Now it's like, no, you can't do that. And like now it's like, for her, she can't adapt to that, so she feels chained up in a way as well. And I love that, because like I didn't like her in the first movie, and then seeing her like now struggling with being how can I say, what politically correct,
Yeah.
or being,
I'd
sort of
rather
thing.
say
It's a struggle.
socioeconomically, but because there's a lot of things that like demographics and a lot of things that you have to start keeping in mind, especially with 2026. There's a lot of
Yeah.
I want to say basic human protection acts and things that we have to put in. Hey, but it's not that type of podcast, so we can put a pin in our comment section if you guys want to discuss that a little bit more. We'd love to hear your feedback. Which I want to pivot to Miranda being stuck in her time. So I completely agree with you. I just believe in terms of the first movie, unfortunately the other consistent is Miranda. So she stayed technically the same, but in the last bits of the first movie, she did change. And there was a sort of portrayal that Andy had an effect on Miranda. But now in the second movie, with her forgetting Andy and everything, she's basically back to her original self. And she's jumping up and down on that timeline, on that type of demographic, on that type of way of doing things, way of doing business. So yeah, I don't think if I have to put in a big wedge into the workings of this machine, that is something I did not appreciate at all, because where has all this 20 years gone? Do you tell me like she didn't start keeping up with the times in a normal world, if that makes sense? So now it's all of a sudden we're hit in the face that she doesn't do these things, talk about the body positivity and all those things. So I don't quite like that, because especially being in the fashion industry, these trends started to climb over time. So now all of a sudden, 20 years later, boom, I don't agree with this. It feels like it's a little bit out of place, if that makes sense.
But you can
You know what is very strange? Yeah, as you said.
People like Karl Lagerfeld, for example. He was massive in the 90s, but when you look at his comments, like, they never actually grew. They were stuck in the time when they peaked. So I think that's what they were trying to portray. It's like she's stuck in the time when she was peaking. Anna Wintour, for example, as well. They said insane things to people. Like Karl Lagerfeld said Heidi Klum is obese. Heidi Klum is not obese. Heidi Klum is not obese. Let me just say that. So, yeah, he said that in the 90s, and I mean, R.I.P. Martin, he's not here anymore. But like up until the 2010s, he was still he was not able to adapt. He couldn't. If you're not able to adapt, yeah, you know what they say: survival of the fittest.
Yeah, survival of the fittest.
Someone's gonna replace you.
Yeah, like, that's true, and they're gonna be younger, stronger, and faster.
Yeah. We're all actually.
So yeah, okay. Since we have talked a lot about the workplace environment of 2006 versus of it in 2026, let's go on to the style progression from back then to now. And we'll let Angelique take this one first.
Sure, you need me to talk about this movie without including this like economic state, because you can't actually ignore the economic state, because you see a lot of quiet luxury in the movie. And the reason we have quiet luxury is because we are like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but we are in the trade and logistics space, us three, right? We know how it is economically, macroeconomically speaking. At the moment, it's a bit volatile, more so lately than it has been 5 years ago, 7 years ago. It's been a bit volatile lately, right? And so in fashion, you can actually see it in clothes. Okay, so you can see when people start to dial down with their clothes to look more luxurious, but they start to wear things that look expensive, but it's dialed down. It's a bit more beige, more neutral toned, clean cut things. Yeah, it's called quiet luxury. It's old money vibes. That's what I got from the movie as well. And it also shows, they also call it on TikTok recession core. So do you know what? Like, it's the opposite of this jacket, what I'm wearing. This jacket's very much maximalism. This does not scream quiet luxury. Quiet luxury is what Anne Hathaway.
it's very, it's out of there. Well,
Yeah.
out there, yeah, more out there,
Yeah.
yeah,
Seems
not
attainable.
out of there.
It is out
Out
of
there
there.
like
No, it's-
Project Hail Mary.
It's
Get out
it's
of
out there. What's the video?
Yeah. Check out that video after this one.
Yeah.
Fashion was very
Okay.
very
So I
very
I enjoy
demure.
your very demure. So I
Very
I
mindful.
enjoy your very mindful.
very
So I enjoy your your outlook in the like how can I say portrayal of how it is how it is in terms of the you said recession core. I'm not sure if I heard correctly. Recession something?
yes. So recession core. So like you'll see
Recession core.
with
Cool.
a lot
You
girls
can put a
do-
definition up there.
even with makeup trends. Like, do you guys remember again 2016, 18, 2020 crazy makeup looks, like cut creases, wings, eyelashes? It was insane, right? But then COVID hit.
Mhm.
Everyone dialed that back a bit after COVID. Okay. Anyway, we are now at a point where people are doing clean girl aesthetic. So right now, the clean girl aesthetic is very, very popular, where you focus more on skincare because that would make you look rich.
Mm.
It's important to look rich. You can even see it in interior design because people are struggling with employment. So you want to exert this thing that you have, which we don't necessarily have. Our unemployment rate in our country, for example, is skyrocketing at this point. So like quiet luxury has increased. I can actually send you guys some links that you can add in your comment section. I don't know. But like,
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to say it with this. With that point you're saying right now, here, please, Owen from the future, put up these photos. Okay, cool. Now the viewers know. Cool, thanks.
quiet luxury.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, cool. And so I have to say I really enjoyed that standpoint. So well done. Thank you for that. And I think that clean goal aesthetic is something I listen, I want to say I relate with that because, well, I can't say I relate with that, but I enjoy that. I enjoy that idea of going the clean girl aesthetic. I think that brings a lot of inner beauty, a lot of sentimental reasons. So I love that standpoint, and the fact that it's actually backed by the economy as well. Very cool. But I have to say, in terms of this movie, you've seen those dresses that they had in Milan. So those things were a lot more flashy and chauvinistic. So then compared to what we had 20 years ago, I mean, we didn't think about having a literal dome over that girl that Andy was running in to tell Miranda she had a interview with Elias Clark. So there was this lady that Miranda was doing her things, going to these workshops, seeing if this is going to fit into the magazine, if this is going to be a good look. But listen, we didn't have those, and I'll put on a video, a picture of that, so the viewers, you at least know what I'm talking about. We didn't have that 20 years ago. So sorry, that took 2 minutes just to explain what it is. But I mean that contrast. That's a crazy contrast to have.
So, do you mean like when they did this, the fashion shoot, and then the thing was a massive, that thing? So like,
I
with
think, yeah.
I'm honestly lost right now. I'm not
So-
gonna lie. Y'all are doing these references that I'm like, interesting.
Don't
I have
worry.
No clue.
But-
You can put some question marks above my head on this one.
So
Gotcha.
specifically the runway. So the runway where they walk, the models are walking. That
Not
evolved.
necessarily
Within the
that
last
one.
few- Oh, okay. But like within
So,
the last
yeah.
20 years,
If I
it's evolved into art, where they don't necessarily wear the extravagant things, but they would use the pattern that the model would wear, and they would recreate the pattern or the color scheme or maybe like the silhouette, but that would inspire a collection that would go to the people, the plebs, if you will.
oh,
I'm saying that
okay.
The masses.
common people,
masses.
the masses, yeah. So like runway is more so like the art that you can actually put like in museums, like Met Gala museums, and that you would wear on red carpets. It's not really like actual fashion where 20 years ago that would have been seen as fashion. But like it is fashion, but I wish I had the vernacular for this. It's art.
So
It's
is it more like an expression of artwork? Yeah,
it's
in that
pieces.
way.
It's a collection that you create and that you show. It's like Art Nouveau, basically.
Okay, cool. So, but
Yeah.
I've got a interesting pivot that I would like to bring to the both of you.
Yes.
What is an awesome quote that you would take from this movie?
Got one.
Okay.
May the bridges I burn light my way.
Like my
May
way.
the bridges I burn light my way.
Light my way. That was my favorite quote.
I love that. That was absolute cinema.
No, Emily.
Absolutely.
I really like that. There was, I think that was my number one. So I can't effectively say I've got a number two, but that one was really iconic.
I absolutely loved it. Now, since we've spoken about style and everything like that, let's wrap it up and let's talk the final thing. What did you think of the movie? Is it a rewatchable or regrettable? Let's start with our guest and then we'll go to Owen, and then from Owen, I'll give my verdict.
I would say it's not a regrettable. It's a rewatchable. But you need to like the industry. You need to like the genre. So it's a rewatchable for someone who actually enjoys the genre. I wouldn't say to someone who enjoys action movies or like thrillers to go and watch Devil Wears Prada 2. That would be a regrettable. So it depends on the genre that you like. If you really love fashion and if you really like romance movies, not even, there's no sense of romance in this thing except like the little bit with Peter, you know, and that I enjoyed. I loved the fact, tangent. I love the fact that they mentioned that she had bad relationships and the people that she's had relationships with never read her pieces, because it acknowledged something that I found issue with in the first movie that they glorified, and that Peter actually did the effort in reading her stories, like journalism. That made me feel finally we are showing some healthy relationships. I didn't enjoy how she treated Peter and said journalism is more important than luxury apartments. That was rude, Andy, rude, because you are diminishing his job, which isn't fair. That's your thing is not more important than someone else's. So I'm just gonna put that out there. Sorry, tangent over. What were we talking about? I'm glad it's not gonna agree with.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. This might come as across as distracting to our audio listeners. I was freaking out only on camera, but yes, she was so super mean to Peter, and it's time we realize Peter in this movie.
Justice for Peter.
Justice for Peter.
Peter.
Justice for Peter. Can I find a Peter? Honestly, they are.
There's a few Peters at work, I'm sure.
No, no work. Nothing from work, please. Absolutely not.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay. Where are you at? So,
No, but the emotional
all right,
intelligence
Owen, what did you think?
It was very refreshing, and and I enjoyed that dynamic between them. It was way better than the first movie, so I'm going to acknowledge that within my review of a rewatchable. I really enjoyed the fact that they are showing growth, and like her friend that's been in the first movie, she's in the second movie as well. I really enjoyed that, and the fact that she's like, okay, are you single? Okay, are you divorced? Why are you divorced? Very important question the older you get. What happened? Guys, let me tell you, an important question. Anyway, Peter is a green flag all around. I like Peter.
Okay.
And I really hope they have a good life together, and I would love to see. That was a very good feel-good part of the movie to me, to know that she's in a healthier relationship than what she was with the previous guy, which was just a piece of nonsense. Anyway, moving straight along, rewatchable in that sense.
Owen, what did you think?
Yes, go ahead.
So yes. Okay. I'm so glad to hear Angelique's got so much to say about this movie, and that's what I live for in this podcast. Just once again, I'm gonna go straight off the bat. Regrettable. I regret watching this movie. I did not like the movie. I felt there was a lot of points that didn't come to a binding point, and then there were points that were. So I mean, there was a few topics from the first movie that was excellently addressed in this movie. Great, fantastic. But then there's a few points like these side quests. I don't like that. I didn't like. I'm sorry. Speaking as the typical gamer myself, I did not like these side quests. It was almost unnecessary for the story. Sure, it's like sweet. We're searching for a new apartment. This is how we meet Peter. But okay, meet Peter, and Peter is really awesome. By the way, love that Peter was inside there. But they made these side quests too long. If you look at a game that you play on your console or your PC, side quests are meant to be short. I don't want to get lost in the side quest to get to the main quest, if that makes sense. Okay, on to unnerdy ways of speaking. So yes, so that was my main thing. I didn't like that Miranda forgot Andy. Andy made technically a very big impression on Miranda in the first movie, and that's basically all I have to say. I still and to address a little point of that I made earlier, I still don't get the Prada part. The Prada was not addressed, I think, in both movies, so I don't get why it's called Devil Wears Prada. Perhaps I might be wrong, and I'd love to be corrected. So yeah, and that's my thing of this movie, and it was a little bit too long for me. I got lost. I didn't like it.
Okay, fair enough. So let's go on to me now. In terms of my opinion of the movie, I felt it is definitely a rewatchable. Why I say this is because if you look at my other verdict from Devil Wears Prada 1, I was not a fan. This was great if you watch the first one, because it's very satisfying in terms of the changes that are made, in terms of all of that, like the growth of the characters and like the way they're pushing change. I really resonated with, and I loved to see it. So yeah, that's why I really loved this movie. And like it was like very, how can I say? Yeah, as I mentioned, it was satisfying because you could see all of the bad things that were happening in the first one now being like almost addressed and solved in the second one. It's very wholesome in that way. So I felt, yeah, that was it's a rewatchable, and I would give it probably the first movie, I think, I don't know what I gave it, but I'm gonna give this one probably a 7.5 to 8 out of 10.
I would say my rating, I know I gave Devil Wears Prada 1 a rewatchable rating, so I enjoyed Devil Wears Prada 1, but this one, I'll give it a 3.5.
You?
Crazy.
You?
If somebody can tell me why it's Devil Wears Prada specifically, I'll bump it up to a 4. But that's where I'm tapping it.
I have an idea. How about we do this? We'll do a little bit of research after this, and then we can insert why is it called Devil Wears Prada in somewhere like on the top of the screen or something like that.
It's because you were correcting about Anna Wintour. That's literally, she wore Prada. Like, it's based on Anna Wintour. And the book, The Devil Wears Prada, it's basically, she just wears designers. So because she is the devil, Miranda Priestley is the devil. She wears designers. She is in the industry, the fashion industry. So it's just a play on words.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely.
Okay, so you basically. So you're ranking it up to a 4 now.
Woman who worked for Anna Wintour. That Devil Wears Prada is based on the real women who worked for Anna Wintour.
Okay.
That wrote
I'll give it a 4.
I think I did see that.
Yes.
Okay, I'm really giving it a 4, but still didn't like the movie. Sorry, guys. Okay.
We are all entitled to our own opinion.
Yes, sir.
Also 7.58. I think, I would agree with you, Reese. I would say 7.58. You have to watch it together with number 1, and then it would make sense for you.
Yeah. I think it's like very important.
I think that's what you wanted. That conclusion. I think that's what you liked, right? Yeah. I enjoyed the growth of the characters. Yeah, that's what I enjoyed.
One more thing before we end. What do you think of the dynamic duo now between Andy and Emily?
I think it's good that
Okay. Okay, sorry, Angelique, you go first. Sorry.
I'm a girl's girl, so like I never liked the fact that they pitted the girls against each other. I never liked that. So I enjoy the fact that they are now cool with each other and that they are finally actual friends. I don't like going against other women. I don't. I would always try and have a woman. I would want to have a woman's back. It's a tough world anyway. So like, yeah.
Where them girls at? Or who run the world? Girls type aura you're having. Cool. Well, I mean, I like the dynamic between them. I like them from the first movie, even though they were like strictly professional. Now they could be best mates, and that's what I like. So yeah, I really like them in the second movie. I think I enjoyed them a little bit more. And especially where Anne Hathaway or Andy said, "Oh, you wanted to be friends." So that's amazing. So even Emily from her side said she wanted to be pals in direct words.
I'm not gonna lie to you. For me, right, I was like, well, watch the movie and then see what happens. But I felt like everything that she did, and then now you want to be pals with them. I'm like, okay, that's a bit crazy. Like I felt like they tried to wrap it up too quick on that one, but yeah, and it was actually quite surprising. You know what would have been cool? You know when Andy in the first movie threw her phone into the fountain? If it was that message that was like Emily wanting to be friends with Andy.
Oh, that
would have been so good.
That would have been sick, because then it would have been like this continuous golden thread weaving between two movies.
And it's going to be like, no, I didn't get your text because I threw it in the fountain.
Valid. I agree.
No.
Cool. Well, that is Devil Wears Prada, and that also wraps up this episode. Guys, thank you very much for joining on this episode. And Angelique, thank you for being here for the second episode, the second run through. It was so amazing to have you, so amazing to have your opinions regarding all these topics. And yeah, from my side, I really want to say it's an absolute joy to do these episodes every week or so, that we do it and that we record and that we push the small content. I do encourage you guys, go watch the small content. We are on Instagram, we are on TikTok. Go give it a like, give it a follow, recommend it to your friends. So in that way,
also tell us what you want to see.
Yeah, tell us what you think. Just comment, just even drop a like. Even if it's just an emoji, just drop that emoji too. But I really encourage you to just spread it across your pals, because this also boosts the algorithm, so that in this way we reach more people. So yeah, that's all from my side.
Thank you guys.
Awesome. Well, yeah, Angel. Yeah. And as Owen said, thank you again for joining. And yeah, guys, this episode will be out sometime when you see it. And yeah, go like the small content. And yeah, we really work hard on these things. So yeah, any bits of feedback and stuff that we can get on comments and stuff like that is always well appreciated, because we take what you guys tell us and then we implement it in every single episode. So yeah, we just want to make this thing grow, and the only way we can grow is with you guys in terms of supporting it and like giving us feedback. When we do something wrong, tell us about it. When we do something right, tell us about it, so then we know what to do.
And a big shout out. Yeah, big shout out to Greg and Rafaela at work. You guys are our best supporters, so really appreciate you too. I guess I can also say my mom. Thank you, Mom. All right.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers, guys. All the best. Bye.
Bye.
I was just jumping in. There's another person I really want to thank for this video and for the upcoming videos. You really helped us out so much. Valdu, thank you for your ongoing support and for watching these videos. We really appreciate your support, and whilst you're studying and whilst you're finishing up your things, you're supporting us in the background, dropping comments on our videos. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for sponsoring us with this amazing piece of equipment. I put it on the screen so just so you guys can see what he contributed to this video and to our how can I say, podcast in general. So from Reason and myself, really thank you so much for that, what you do, and the great friend that you are. Cheers.